Hi there. I didn't notice you. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Sometimes it's hard for me to decide between should I be quirky and weird or should I be sincere and vulnerable. You probably can be both. I also think, should I script? Should I write out actual, thought through processes and paragraphs? And then I stop and I decide I don't even know in between. Anyway, hi, I'm Nicholas, and this is my YouTube channel. Welcome back. I have been gone for almost 3 years, coming up in October when I started this. And then the year after I started this, I joined the Army. So life has been crazy. Let me catch you up to speed. So I was working at Carolina Wings in about September of 2023, and then boom, I quit my job and I decided I was going to pursue YouTube as a serious career. Kind of a crazy idea. Most people think it's a little weird. Oh my gosh, you're going to be a YouTuber. That's not really safe. That's not good money. You have a family, a wife, and 2 kids. I was like, whatever. God will make a way or he'll block it, right? God blocked it. For that month, I was instead spending time with my wife and kids. I can't remember how many we had. And it was good. I'm glad I took that time and I spent it with her. And then after that, I got a job at Chick-fil-A. I worked there for about 9 or 10 months until about September of 2024, when I had a calling from the Lord to go to the Army. Me and my wife, Alana, were praying about it a ton. And we both had a feeling. We went to this church service. I can't remember the name of the church. It's a church that her mom-in-law attends, I believe. And there was a guest speaker, of course, just so happens to be a guest speaker that Sunday. And he was like, I've got a word for this church. And me and Lana were like, wow, that's crazy. And he preached on Joseph, about 7 years of famine and 7 years of plenty, or 7 years of plenty first and then 7 years of famine. And me and Lana look at each other like, does God want you to join the Army? And I was like, I believe so. And one of my favorite songs by Pat, I can't remember who's it by right now, but it's called Take You at Your Word. It's a great song. And I drove home with just my son Peter, and I turned the volume all the way up. I blasted that song. I take you at your word. If you say it, I believe it. And so I was believing that he was telling me to join the Army. And I do believe it was his will for me to join the Army at the time because of everything that's happened and come and gone since then. And so I joined the Army. Oh my gosh, it sucked. I mean, it was God disciplining me, I believe, for my years of mental and emotional and sometimes physical abuse of my wife. Me and Lana had been through some dark times, and I had hurt her in a lot of ways. Yeah, it all came to a head in October of 2024, and she wasn't perfect either. I mean, our relationship, we and she never did anything that she never called the cops on me or anything, and I feel like she should have. There were some things I did that were horrible. But God sent me to the Army to give her some time. She said she met God while I was gone. For the 6 months that I was gone for basic training, she felt like she had become a new believer. And that's awesome. That's great. I'm super glad for her. And so, yeah, I joined the Army, and basic training was awful, as it should be. But more than awful, it was it was a place for me to finally get close to God. And I'm trying to pretend I'm talking to God right now. When I'm on a YouTube video, I'm trying to visualize somebody there. So he sent me to basic training, and I was there for 6 months, and it was so painful. Just the first week, I felt just so drained and hopeless and dark. And the only thing that kept me going was that I had my Bible, and I read it every day. So much reading. I was reading and learning about Jesus just every day. And then uh, it just went by slow. It was very long and a difficult process. Every day, we get up at like 6 a.m. We go out and do physical exercise training. We'd run for miles, or we'd do pull-ups, or we'd do push-ups, or we just, and I mean, every morning it was a race to get outside the door and form up in a big box to make everybody, where they're supposed to be the drill sergeants, and if anybody didn't, it was like, we'd get corrective training, which is like you'd have to do push-ups, so we'd have to do V-ups, and it was extra time, and the funny thing is they wouldn't, like, if we, okay, wow, so much information. All right, so a normal day looked like this. Drill sergeants wake us, turn on the lights, or we turn on the lights at about 5:30 in the morning. We have to be outside at 6. That's usually actually wrong. The drill sergeants would have us wake up and turn on the lights at around 5, and then at 5:30 it was like time to be outside. We'd have to be outside formed up by 5:30, which is super, super hard because so many people get up at 5, 5:15, 5:25. I'm not even kidding you. I'm so for real. They'd throw on their clothes, they'd throw on their shoes, they wouldn't make their beds every day for 6 months. The same people doing the same stupid things. It was so annoying. And if we got out there and then we weren't on time and we did get corrective training, like doing push-ups or doing sit-ups, it was good, but like you'd get tired of it and your body would get tired. I was tired. I probably have sustained some long-term physical damage from a lot of the training. So then after 6 months, of that every morning, 5:30, and you'd think people would get it, but it didn't. It didn't matter. It the last week of training, and people were still making the same mistakes they're making week 1. And it wasn't that the Army doesn't work. It was just that some people just don't want to do what they're told still. Well, fast forward to April 2025. Yeah, April 2025. April 17th is my graduation day. It was a miracle of God because I had got an injury as well. It was like halfway through the whole training cycle, and I injured my ankle. I had like hairline fractures on my ankle because of how much running and rucking and stuff we were doing, carrying 35-pound back on your back. Not fun. And so I went to the medics, and they were like, okay, yeah, you can't run for a while. And so I was off running for like a month and a half, but then I finally got back on, and I caught up training with another company. Thank God he got me to graduate April 17th. I was really scared. Finally get back home, finally get back in the swing of things. Me and Lana have until May 1st to get to my new unit. And I do all that, and here I am now in Fort Stewart, Georgia. Okay. After a year and 3 months, I can safely say I do not like the Army. I don't want to be in the Army anymore. I'm grateful that I'm having the opportunity that I might not be in the Army soon. That's still up in the air. It's still up to God. I'm not gonna try and like explain all of it. But all I have to say is the Army is not for everyone, and it was a lot harder than I expected. I was not ready for what it had in store for me. But God was using it. Like my older brother Nathan told me that a lot of times things in life are like a furnace, and we're metal, and God is putting the metal through the furnace. And that's the only way to make a sword, if you think about it, right? If you have this big old block of iron, you can't do anything with it. It's hard. I mean, it can be a weapon, but it's not as effective as a sword, right? If somebody was a sword. So God puts us through life, and a furnace is like the fire. And Jesus went through the same furnaces that we went through, right? And the furnace heats us up and melts us down and breaks us down until we're in a moldable shape. And then when it's hot enough and it's like red hot molting metal, God puts you on the anvil and takes his hammer, and he just starts going to town. That's what he did to me in basic training. And so that's part of the reason I haven't been doing YouTube, is because I've been busy and there's been all kinds of life changes. And so I have 3 kids now, Peter, Lucy, Asher, and my wife, Alana, my beautiful, amazing wife, Alana. And I really want to start YouTube again. So I just want to make this video and kind of update people. Now, I did make a video that dedicated my life to God. And so I have to do a redo video, right? Because I feel like things have changed between me and God. I keep saying, and I believe, that I wasn't saved until June 6th, 2026, which was about 2 or 3 weeks ago. Other people have doubted it. Other people have said things about it. It doesn't matter, right? What matters is what my relationship with God. At the end of the day, your relationship with God is your relationship with God. So, about 3 or 4 weeks ago, I came home. I walked out the office building of my job, and one of my sergeants was like, "Vital, you don't look too good." And I was like, "Yeah, you're right. I don't, because I'm not." I was very depressed. I was very stressed. I was very anxious. I was, I think, oppressed by demons. I believe I was oppressed by demons, and I kind of spilled my guts to him. I just told him everything. I was like, "Yeah, I hate the army. I hate this job. I'm feeling depressed and stressed. I can't handle the pressure of being at home and the army. It's taking too much away from me." And he was like, "Okay, do you want me to take you to behavioral health?" And I was like, "Yes, whatever that is, I need help." And so we go to behavioral health on Thursday of that week, and we check in, and they're like, you don't get an appointment till August." And I was like, "Okay, I can grit it out. I can make it to August." Well, guess what? Tuesday of next week happens. I'm sitting outside of a place called the USO. Okay. It's just like a lounge for soldiers to hang out. And I hear God telling me to go talk to my first sergeant. But before that, I hear these voices telling me that I need to kill myself. Okay. And I've never felt or been more certain that there was a demon attacking me in that moment of my life. There were several demons trying to convince my flesh, right? Because the the body we live in, right?